Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all good and healthy. So today we're gonna start a new chapter and concerning about the activity 9, the solution I will upload it in on Moodle. After the class, you can access it and check whether you made correct or you made solving the correct or not. You can check it. If you have any questions, I'll be pleased to help you to answer your questions. If you have any questions, you can get in touch with me via email or WhatsApp as you wish. So today we're going to start with consumer and producers and the efficiency of the market chapter. So here we go. So consumers, producers, and the efficiency of the markets. Talking about the consumer surplus, the first terminology I should talk about is welfare economics. The welfare economics is all about of how allocation of the resources conducted. And through this allocation resources, the main aim is to achieve economic well-being. So the economy should be developed. By developed economy, we mean more production, more technological advancement, and affordable prices for the human being. So the study of how allocation of the resources affect economic well-being is all about the welfare of economics. So benefits that the buyers and the sellers they receive from engaging in the market transaction, and how the society can make these benefits as large as possible. In any market, the equilibrium of supply and demand maximize the total benefits received by buyers and the sellers, like combined together. So consumer surplus, it's showing that maximum amount that the buyer is willing to pay for a good, and it shows actually underlines the willingness to pay is by how much it maximum it values a certain product that he or she about to buy it. So consumer surplus is amount or a buyer is willing to pay for a good minus the amount actually pays for it. Or we can put it in a simple words, willingness to pay minus price paid. Can give you the example like you want to buy iPhone 12, okay? iPhone 12. The price of the iPhone 12, maybe we can say $1,500 in the market. Okay. So the maximum that you're willing to pay for iPhone 12 is $1,500. But when you go to the market and you purchase it for 1,200, so the difference is 300. So this is the consumer surplus you get. This is the benefit that you get it. So willingness to pay minus price paid. That will give you the consumer surplus. John, we've got like 4 possible scenarios for the willingness to pay. John's willingness to pay is 100, Paul is 80, George and Ringo 70, 50 respectively. As we can see that from the table 1. So we'll illustrate this table 1 in the following slide. We'll see how much the consumer surplus will be. So consumer surplus basically measures the benefit the buyer received from the participating in the market, which is closely related to the demand curve. And demand schedule is derived from the willingness to pay of the possible buyers that have been mentioned in a previous slide. So we have here, as you can see, is a downward sloping. So willingness to pay is closely related to the demand curve, what we can understand from here. So starting with the John's willingness, okay, John is willing to pay $100 for 1 unit, for 1 album, okay? He's willing to pay $100, not more than this, like maximum $100. So whatever he gets before that, whatever price he pays in actual term, he will get the consumer surplus up to 100, like from 80 to 100, okay? From 80 to 100. The John and Paul is willing to pay $80 maximum for that album to buy 2 albums, okay? Maximum. They will purchase 2 albums. John, Paul, and George, they're willing to pay $70 to purchase 3 albums. And 4 of them will pay $50 to purchase 5 of them. So this shows the relationship between the price and the quantity. So mainly we're speaking in here about the consumer surplus, the maximum amount that you're willing to pay and how much you actually pay. The difference is you get the consumer surplus. So at any quantity, the price given by the demand curve shows the willingness to pay for the marginal buyer, for additional buyer. So marginal means in here additional buyer. So the buyer who would leave the market first, the price were any higher. Consumer surplus in the market is, let me just move here. Here. Talking about the John's consumer surplus in here, it's 20. Because he has actually paid 80. He has actually paid 80, but the maximum price he was willing to pay, 100. And the consumer surplus he gets is 80 here. Sorry, $20. However, if the price becomes 70, the consumer surplus that John gets is $30, but the Paul's consumer surplus will be just $10. Because the Paul was willing to pay $80, but the price is $70. So the willingness to pay is 80 and actual price paid is 70. The difference is $10 is the Paul's consumer surplus. And the total consumer surplus is equal to $40. And lower the price rises the consumer surplus. So existing buyers increasing the consumer surplus. So where the buyer who were already buying the goods at higher price are better off because now they will pay less. New buyers enter to the market. This will increase in consumer surplus as well. This will show where the willingness to buy the goods at the lower price as well. So we have panel A in here, panel B in here. So in panel A, the price is P1 and the quantity demanded is Q1. Consumer surplus equal to the area of the triangle, ABC. So when the price falls from P1 to P2, in the panel B, as you can see it, the quantity demanded increases from Q1 to Q2. The consumer surplus will go up as it has been shown in the area in the panel B. That shows the triangle of ADF. The increase in the consumer surplus, the area of BCDEF occurs in the part because existing consumer now will pay less in this area, okay? They get additional consumer surplus. And part because of the new consumers will enter. So this part shows that the new consumer enters to the market and they get the benefits of it. So total consumer surplus will be B, C, F, D. And the consumer surplus for the new customer that who enters to the market will be this triangle. But the total will be this part. So benefit that the buyers receive from a good as the buyer themselves perceive it. So it depends on the perception. If you perceive that maximum price that you're willing to pay, if you were willing to pay for the iPhone 12 like $1,500 and you just paid actual 1,200, your consumer surplus will be 300. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it will be exactly the same in the perspectives of another customer. It changes from customer to customer. So it might be for you, for somebody, it might be, he will be willing to pay 1,300, but actually he pays 1,200. So for him, the consumer surplus will be 100 only. So the good measure of the economic well-being is conducted through the consumer surplus. However, there are some exceptions, special products, which are illegal drugs. Like drug addicts, they're always willing to pay high price for heroin. So society's the standpoint in here, the drug addicts don't get a large benefit from being able to buy heroin at low price, okay? This is what has been conducted. So the exception is this type of products like legal drugs. So far we know about the consumer surplus, and we know about how the consumer surplus is measured, like is willingness to pay minus actual price paid. But when it comes to the producer surplus, it shows we're looking from the perspective of the cost, the value of the everything the seller must give up to produce the cost, to produce the good. So it measures willingness to sell. So the amount is the amount of the seller that he receives or she receives is paid for a good minus the seller cost providing it. So price received minus willingness to sell. This is the producer surplus, what they're doing. So, and this producer surplus is closely related to the supply curve. We have Grandma, Georgia, Frida, and Mary, like 500, 600, 900, 800. So willingness to sell. So they will not sell anything below this price. She will not sell anything below the price because we are looking from the perspective of the seller. Seller, he's getting the benefits if he sells at higher price. The higher the price, the more the benefits they will get it. The more producer surplus they will get it. If Mary is willing to sell her product for at least $900, if she sells for 1,500, she gets the benefit of 600. But if she sells below this 900, she will not get any benefits. She will incur a loss. So the minimum price that she's willing to sell is this. And Frida is the same, Georgia is the same, and Grandma is the same. Producer surplus is closely related to the supply curve, as I have mentioned already. And supply schedule is derived from the cost of the suppliers. So at any quantity price given by the supply curve shows the cost of the marginal or additional seller. So seller who would leave the market if the price were any lower of the willing price. We're given here 4 different scenarios, 4 different cases. Grandma says, I will sell my product for $500 at least. This is minimum price that I will charge when I sell my product. I will not go below this product. However, Georgia's cost says, I will sell my product at least at 600. Frida says 800. Mary says 900. So Mary will not sell anything below this, below the 900. But grandma can sell the product at 600, 800, and 900. However, she will not sell below. So less than 500, nobody will stay in the market. They will just leave the market. I'm talking about the sellers. If the price rise to from 500 to 600, the grandma will purchase only sell one. She will be willing to sell one. But if Georgia and grandma will be entered in the market in the case if the price jumps to 800. If it jumps to 900, Frida and Georgia and grandma, and from 900 above, all of them will be in the market because the higher they sell, the better they are. This is the rationale behind producer surplus. So producer surplus curve reflects the seller's cost used to measure the producer surplus. Producer surplus in the market is area that shown in below the price and above the supply curve, which is illustrated graphically in the next slide. So grandma's producer surplus is if she's selling for $600 and she was willing to sell for 500, the grandma's producer surplus is $100, what you get it. If they're selling for 800, the grandma's producer surplus is 300, and additional, the marginal seller will get the surplus of 200. And the total producer surplus will be equal to 500. So you should be able to differentiate consumer surplus and producer surplus. The main idea about this chapter is when the seller, they are willing to sell the minimum price, and when it's a buyer, it's a maximum price that they're willing to pay to get something. So you should be able to differentiate looking from the perspective of the buyer and from looking from the perspective of the seller, because these two different perspectives are changing. So higher price rises the producer surplus, it's for sure when the price increases. Existing seller increasing the producer surplus. Sellers who were already selling the goods at the lower price are better off because they now get more what they sell actually. And new sellers enter to the market that will increase the producer surplus, which shows that willing to produce a good at higher price as well. So we're talking here about the total producer surplus. So in panel A, price is P1, the quantity is Q1, and producer surplus equals to the area to the triangle area ABC. When the price increases from P1 to P2, which is illustrated in panel B, the quantity supplied rises from Q1 to Q2. So the producer surplus at the same time will go up. That is illustrated in the triangle ADF. So this is the whole total producer surplus. So the increase in the producer surplus in BCFD, this range, like from P1 to P2, it occurs because existing producer now receive more by selling at higher price. And new producers additionally enter to the market at the higher price. That creates a new producer surplus. So additionally, there will be total big pie for the producers. This chapter is short in explanation, but I'm done with this chapter. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If you don't have any question, I want to move to the activity 9. I want to go over the questions quickly so that when I upload the solutions, you can easily be guided in the Moodle. Do you have any questions regarding the consumer and the producer surplus? Okay,
No.
it seems that everybody is good. Okay. Okay. Last time I gave you question 5, question 6, question 7 and 8. 5 is not it's not a big deal. Okay, I'm not just gonna skip it. I'm gonna start with the question 6. Going to start with the question 6. Make it bigger so that you can see it. Okay, we are given here quantity demanded and quantity demanded, income 10,000, income of 12,000, and using the midpoint method, we are asked to calculate the price elasticity of demand as price of DVDs increases from $8 to $10, and your income is $10,000, and when your income is $12,000. Then you should calculate income elasticity of demand as your income increases from 10,000 to 12,000, and so on. Now, first of all, if your income is $10,000, your price elasticity of demand will rise from 8 to 10. Okay? So then we need to calculate just a second. Okay. Oh, it's better for me to go with Excel directly to calculate quickly. Anyway. Now, so elasticity of demand is equal to, when the price changes from 8 to 10, the quantity changes from 40 to 32. So we are using by midpoint method, we should be able to calculate elasticity of demand. $40 minus $32, and this divided by midpoint, 40 plus 32 divided by 2, which is 36. And this all divided by 10 minus 8, midpoint is 9. And if you calculate, we should get 1. So our price elasticity is 1, which means it's a unit elastic. And this is when 10,000. But when your income is 12,000, let me write it like this. 10 elasticity of demand, 12,000, your income. Let me just copy this. When your income is 12,000, your quantity will change. If the price change from 8 to 10, your quantity will change from 50 to 45. So 50 minus 45, and the midpoint, 50 plus 45 divided, which is 95, divided by 2, 47 and a half. 47 and a half, which is, if you calculate this, you should get 0.5. So it's inelastic. First one is unit elastic, the other one is inelastic. This is A. And B. Calculate your income elasticity demands. if the price is $12, and second case is price is $16. So if the price is $12, your income elasticity demand, as your income increases from 10,000 to 12,000, so if you remember, the difference between income elasticity and demand elasticity is that in income elasticity, we make change in the quantity divided by change in the income. But in demand elasticity, we make change in quantity divided by percentage change in price. The only thing we're doing here, we're just dealing with income. So our income is changing from 10,000 to 12,000. If the price was 12, how many quantity we changes? Here. Oops. Okay. Now, if the price $12, which is 24 units and 30 units, so which you had income 10,000, once your income increase, the units that you used to consume becomes 30. So it changes from 24 to 30. So income elasticity income equal to, when the price 12, if price $12, then we have, this is not 10 just, this is 10,000, this is 12,000. If the price $12, so we need to get the first of all percentage change in the quantity, which is difference between 30 and 24. 30 minus 24 divided by midpoint price, so 30 plus 24 divided by 2, which is 27. And this all divided by percentage change in income. So which is 12,000 minus 10,000, and it's closed. Come on. This divided by 11,000. If the price is $12, okay, this is the change in the income, okay, that's correct. And if you just calculate it, you should have get 1.22. If the price is $10, $16, the quantity will change from 8 to 12. The quantity will change from 12 and 8. And midpoint will be 10 here. And this is the same. So 22. Okay. Okay, this was question 2, calculating the income statement. So it's one more time to remind you, elasticity income is percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in income. So we can see it's more elastic, this is less elastic, this is inelastic, this is unit elastic. Okay. Let me see the questions. 7, it's okay. I mean, it's not that much difficult. I'm going to put the solution. It's just theoretical one. You have to think. What is my concern is all about the calculation part, whether you are able to calculate or not. Because in the exam, if I ask you, I will ask you everybody different questions. So please be sure that you are really able to solve it, because everybody will receive the different questions, and try to be good in that. So we know how to calculate income analysis. Okay. Okay, I gave you this already to do it as activity. You know how to do it. I'm going to put the solution of this and the solution of this already here. Okay, now I will take the attendance. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Asılcan here. Camila,
Yes, I'm here.
Anel,
Here.
Shevo,
I'm here.
Araylin,
I'm here.
Rawan. Saltanat, Alisher,
I'm here.
Songaker.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay. Iskander,
Yes, I'm here.
Alisher,
Yes, I'm here.
Yulia.
I'm sorry, Professor.
Yes.
Sultanat is here.
Okay. Welcome back. Yulia. Alan. Here.
Yes, I am.
Muhammad Arshia.
Yes, I am here.
Arnay.
Yes, I'm here.
Arat.
I'm here.
Ayslu.
I'm here.
Şolpan.
I'm here.
Amina.
Here.
Ardager.
Yes, I'm here.
Christina.
Here.
Alina.
Yes, I'm here.
Dana. Maksat.
I'm here.
I'm sorry, Professor. It's Mia Suljan. Just my internet connection was lost, and now I'm sitting via my phone. Sorry, I'm the first one at the least. Yes, so here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ilana.
Here. I'm here.
Arujan.
I'm here.
Nuray.
Here, I'm here.
Camila.
I'm here, Professor.
İlyas.
Here.
Begzat.
I'm here.
Jonaim.
Here.
Aset.
I'm here.
Rustam.
Here.
Ali.
Hey, Professor, I'm here.
Aliyar.
I'm here.
Farhat.
Sorry, Professor, I'm here.
You're Farhat?
No, Dana. Kusherbek.
Dana. Okay. Janna? Diana?
Here.
Arujan?
I'm here.
Saltanat?
I'm here.
Camila?
I'm here.
Bye. Malika?
I'm here.
Shınghız?
I'm here.
Ayaoğlu?
I'm here.
Danele?
I'm here.
Okay. Malika Yerbolat here. I can
here.
see it. Janserik? Janserik not here. Araylım?
Professor, could
Yes.
you look the chat? Rawan is here.
Where is Rawan?
Could you look the chat? He wrote in the chat.
We have some problem. May I leave from Zoom? Okay, he wrote me. Asıljan is here?
Yes, sure.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
great.
here. Thank you.
Rawan? Okay, did I miss anyone else? Okay. Anyone else did I miss? Okay, no problem. Everybody's here. Good. So we are planning to have one quiz and one exam. And I'm planning to give it to you in this week, end of the November. One exam and one quiz. Okay. Do you have any questions? If you don't have any questions,
Oh, thank you.
I will not let you go. Wait, don't rush. We have 25 minutes, even 30, half an hour. I'm not letting you go because I will give you something to do. Now, please write on your own words. How do you understand the difference between the consumer surplus and the producer surplus? What is your consumer surplus and what is the producer surplus? Write it and submit it as activity 10. Now you have 20 minutes, but I will put it here, the activity 10. I have not put it yet. So in 20 minutes, please do it. It's just online. There is no need to upload anything. Activity 10 is today. And we finish. '45. And it will be online. There's no file submission. Online text, just type it. Okay. Activity 10. So you can start.
Professor, could you repeat the questions, please?
The question is that what is the difference between consumer surplus and the producer surplus? Explain it in your own words.
Should we write like essay or just
Yeah,
simple?
just in 2-3 words, in 2-3 sentences, just explain what is the consumer surplus and what is the producer surplus. How do you understand it? So So let me just put it here. What is? Okay, you can start writing it. You can leave the conference. It was very glad to see you all. Thank you so much. I will see you on next week. But
Thank you.
finish it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. If you have
Thank
any
you, bye.
questions, feel free to ask.